We're pretty psyched about Dungeon Tiles. They're continuing to be a really well appreciated, well loved accessory out there. So we've got a few more of those coming this year. Fane of the Forgotten Gods is a fairly traditional dungeon style set. Lots of neat temple trappings for you to use in your games. Halls of the Giant Kings, that's the cover you can see there. It's a little hard to make out those details, but those are giant tables and thrones for you to populate your halls of the Fire Giant King or steading of the Hill Giant Chief. So some supersize furniture in there. And then the Streets of Shadow, which will be our very first urban-themed Dungeon Tiles set, including some cobblestone streets, some nasty sewers to poke around in. This one was drawn by our very good RPGA and Paizo friend Jason Bowman. Jason, you in the house? Yeah. Jason drew this one for it, gave us some awesome sketches. I've just started seeing the artist renditions coming in. I think it's going to be a very good looking set. Jason will be very proud. We've got character record sheets coming because, you can't have a character without a record sheet. We're playing around with some slightly different formatting on these guys to make them a little easier to use. We've got some color coding, both the standard and a widescreen landscape format, so you can take up a little less of that middle battle mat space. These are for all classes and levels. And a DM screen. This is going to be super heavyweight game board stock. All guarantees are not guaranteed. There were some people questioning whether we were getting a little punchy last night as we were putting the final edits on this. I don't know. This again, it's a DM screen, but I think this is going to be the most DM-friendly screen that we've made. Certainly the advances in the landscape style screens have led to a lot less screen knocking over in my game, and the heavyweight stock I think is going to be, this is basically like a Monopoly board set on its side, so this is going to be pretty sweet, except without the boardwalk. We've got some special edition rule books, sweet gunmetal gray. The illustration here doesn't really do it justice. It's just a prototype, but it's going to be a gunmetal gray leather-bound collector's editions coming out this fall. And a starter set. This will be the great tool for you guys to help us evangelize to new players. So once you've mastered the game, this is a great product to get for maybe a younger brother, a cousin, a son or daughter, or just some school friends in your area. This is there's nothing better for the game and the industry than to get new people playing, and this is going to be exactly that. And it's going to be one of the cheaper starter sets we've made. Yeah.
Come in a red box.
I'll go back to the art folks with that. We haven't, as you can see, this is just a sketch. We really haven't finalized the cover art yet. But no, the minis was one of the biggest things driving up the price, and also if we were going to put minis in it, it would have to come out about a year later because then it has to be made in China and shipped over on a boat. So this was our way of getting out the cheapest starter the fastest possible. We're going to be leading off our march through campaign settings with the Forgotten Realms campaign guide in August. This is going to be the big flagship setting for 2008. Obviously, we're going to be supporting it with RPGA campaign. We're pretty stoked about this campaign setting. We're trying to present the information in a manner that's a little friendlier to the reader, that's a little less like an encyclopedia and more like something you would actually be able to crack open and get a good idea from any given page. So we want to give you lots of information about the realms, but we don't want to overwhelm the reader, particularly the new reader who might be coming in to the realms for the first time or for the first time in a lot of years. So this is definitely a very story-focused book full of hooks for campaigns and such.
Who's on the card?
It's a little hard to make that cover out. The cover is a shade of Netheril riding a dragon. The shades of Netheril are back with a force in the Forgotten Realms. They're going to be one of the big new evil entities in the new realms. The companion to the campaign guide will be the player's guide. This is the book where, if the campaign guide is for the Dungeon Master, this is the book for the player. It's much more focused on what the player needs to build their character and understand what the realms are all about. They don't necessarily need to read through the reams of information in that book. This is more focused on the character building. It's got a couple of additional PC races, brand new class. The campaign settings are really the only other place other than the player's handbooks where we want to be debuting this information. And we want to be limiting it to things that are specifically focused on that campaign setting. And our Forgotten Realms adventure coming out in September. Again, this will follow the same format as our other adventures. This is an adventure for the realms. It embraces realms' identity and flavor, but we're also working very hard to make realms products accessible to even people who aren't maybe using the realms in their own game campaign. So this will be very easily incorporated into any game you're playing, whether it's realms or not. Eberron, we love Eberron very much. Yeah. Even though we're not going to have a new Eberron campaign setting coming out until next year, we are going to be sharing 4th edition game content on D&D Insider right away. There's going to be an expanded article on playing Warforged in 4th edition coming out June, Chris? Are they even still aiming at June? Thereabouts. We're also going to be previewing some Artificer content, so those of you Artificer players can adapt your characters over and be playing something fun in June. So look for Eberron content to start on D&D Insider this summer and continue right on through the release of the campaign setting in 2009.
I've got to say thank you for that.
What's that?
Updating the Warforged and Artificer stuff, because the announcement pretty much stalled my next campaign until the new rules come out. And it was going to be set in Eberron, and, well, one of the players wants to be a gnome Artificer. So
He'll have no problem with that.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. That character may not have quite the same breadth of options that, say, a dwarf fighter does, but he'll be able to look at those books and say, yes, I can play that character.
Well,
so.
he's going to have the backup of the Trust and the entire nation of Solarga, which is a lot better than the other settings he'll get.
After Eberron, we're going to be exploring additional campaign settings as the years go on, some brand new and some old favorites. We're still working on our plans for those. We should be able to talk more about those a little later this year, but we will be continuing to explore new and old campaign settings as time goes on. Every campaign setting that's ever been produced has at least one champion somewhere in R&D, so the discussions are constant. And some of them even run the department.